My name is David Way. I'm the author of the report Test and Adjust, which looks at the experiences of employers in the energy and utilities sector of the apprenticeship levy and the other employer-led reforms that have been introduced in recent years. My background is that I used to be the Chief Executive of the National Apprenticeship Service. Indeed, I've spent the last 20 years in national skills and apprenticeship issues. I've been a visiting professor at the University of Winchester, and I've been the skills advisor to the Energy and Utilities Partnership for the last 6 years. The energy and utilities sector is really important, not just for the productivity of the country, but also for the apprenticeship programme. The sector employs over 500,000 people, contributes 5% of GDP, and pays over £50 million a year for the levy. It's also at the absolute forefront of two very important policy objectives for the country as a whole. Firstly, the National Infrastructure Plan, which is going to drive increases in productivity, and secondly, the net zero carbon, which is absolutely vital for our country as a whole. But I think it's very important that all employers have got a voice when it comes to apprenticeships, because at the end of the day, the success of the apprenticeship programme depends vitally on the opportunities that employers are prepared to give to young people and to people who are already in work to upskill and to develop their full potential. So employers are at the heart of this. The report is called Test and Adjust because that is the approach that this sector has taken. It started out by embracing the apprenticeship reforms. It wants to work with them, wants to make them succeed, and it spent just over 2 years really trying to make them work. The adjust is about what we now need to do, what employers believe in the energy and utilities sector, what they believe needs to happen to make the programs even better, to make them more fitting for the needs of employers and for the needs of the apprentices who come through the programme. So Test and Adjust recognises that you have to have a period in which you try things out, you learn lessons, and then you apply them for the future. Employers in the energy and utilities sector have 6 key asks. The first is that the funding gap that is projected for the future of apprenticeships is filled, preferably by public funding, which has massive return on investment, and if not by public funding, by reducing the payroll threshold for employers who have to pay the levy. The second ask is to achieve closer links between the apprenticeship programme and the industrial strategy. In the past, the apprenticeship programme has been measured almost entirely by the number of starts. In the future, it needs to be much wider than this, so it embraces whether or not it tackles real skill shortages and how it boosts productivity. The third ask is for a sector training pot. At the moment, millions of pounds of the sector's employer training levy is returned. We need that money retained in the sector and used by the employers to tackle the highest priority needs that we've got. The fourth ask is that employers are given more control over the whole of the apprenticeship system, not just the bits that they have at the moment, important though those are. An example of this would be the 20% off-the-job training arrangements, where employers believe they should have greater flexibility and still ensure that the high-quality outputs are achieved. The apprenticeship arrangements work equally well in all parts of the UK. We need to level up to the very best that's available and not see employer behaviour distorted by the different arrangements in the 4 nations. And finally, employers want to be clearer about the transition and the pathway from T-levels to apprenticeships. They're very supportive of T-levels and improving technical skills in this country. They want to see and ensure they can help with progression so that people who are graduating with T-levels can move seamlessly into employment with an apprenticeship and really take that employer and their business forward as well as their own careers. My concluding message and the message from the report is that The reforms of apprenticeships, the employer-led changes that have been introduced, have worked very well in many respects, particularly in respect of raising quality. Apprenticeships are incredibly important to this sector, and this sector is vital for the UK's future productivity growth. We're almost there. There is more that needs to be done though if we're really going to transform apprenticeships, and millions more people are going to get the fantastic experience that apprenticeships give to young people and increasingly to those in the workplace. So through test and adjust, we've tested the system. It's working well, but it needs some changes. This report highlights 6 changes that we believe that would make the transformation of apprenticeships complete and would make apprenticeships really fit for purpose, not just in our sector, but in the UK as a whole.